Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Welcome to everybody that's new listening to this YouTube channel. Listen all the way through. We get a lot of people that comment on things, and it's clear they didn't listen through. They listen to a point where they don't like the subject and then they stop. But before we get into the content, one last thing. Subscribe. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. I think we might even hit that before the end of June. Thank you all that have subscribed. Anybody else that's smoking crack pipes or doing any of that stuff, hey, look, I am not your typical YouTube, I guess, sports analyst or something like that, because this is not what this channel is about. The channel is about growing the sport of athletics to new people. Talk about other sports too. I have gymnastics on here. And also to grow with that exposure that grows the amount of money that athletes can get, so that it's not a whole bunch of athletes that are trying, they can't get sponsorships and everything. We got interviews already done with collegiate athletes right now. We got a coach that we're interviewing tomorrow, and I'm trying to time when I'm going to upload that. Obviously, with more people, then I'll upload it because more eyes, more people. But that's to grow that. And then the other thing is to, once we get to a certain size, we're going to be talking about finances, how to double and triple, how to double your income in 2 to 3 years when you're doing that. Hey, you're working a minimum wage job if you're in the United States. Hey, look, how do you gain one skill and then get from, let's say, $30,000 a year and get up to $55,000, $60,000 a year? Then how do you go from there to get up to $100,000 a year? How do you get it's about growing to your CDL. It's about becoming an IT professional. It's about becoming a plumber, electrician, all of these other skills. This is what this channel is about. It's more than just athletics. I'm not your typical guy. I will call you out in the comment section. And when we have in our call-in broadcast, I will call out knuckleheads there too. This ain't about being nice. If you come and you start saying some mess, you are going to be called out. That's all it is. You can, obviously, there's banter between that. But when you start calling somebody stupid just because of one thing they disagree with, hey, look, I don't even know. Or when you're trying to say that these women have muscles or whatever, and so therefore they must be using performance enhancing drugs, smoking crack. But anyway, are these shoes making a run faster? How about it like this? How about we go back to the shoes? Let me ask you all a question. Everybody that comes in the comment section, it's like the public just eats up the marketing that these people give. And I understand that's what the masses are for and everything. And this is no offense to anybody. This is what happens to all of us in different areas. We're not about to be just taking everything. A lot of us believe in Santa Claus when we're younger. We're just told something, we believe it, it gets repeated over and over. Okay. Are the shoes making people faster? Of course. Duh. Are they going to run barefoot? No, they're not going to run barefoot. Are they going to run in flats? No, they're not going to run in flats. The shoes are designed, as you can see, for sprint spikes. They have it more where you are on your forefoot / toes than you are, not technically even on your toes, but more on your forefoot than it would be for distance spikes. You're not going to run the same thing that you would do for marathoners. Are the shoes helping? Yeah, they're trying to design better and better shoes, but shoes have been improving for years, and yet the women's performances haven't matched up to what we have seen before. The 400 world record isn't touched. And for people that keep saying performance enhancing drugs, they always say it when people start running fast times. That's the worst thing about this puritanism, track and field stuff. Do you know basketball players, football players? I'm talking about American football. Probably even soccer players. They probably use performance enhancers too. And then what happens to them? They get fined when they get caught. They don't get banned. How do you grow a sport when all of your named athletes get banned from the sport? You can't. And let's just say, hey, it's like Lance Armstrong. Everybody's testing freaking negative, and then it finds out it's like the Tour de France. It was like a top 104 or top 115 people. Almost all of them were using performance enhancers. Man, they're all competing. That means Lance Armstrong still better than all of them. So let's just assume two things. One, they're all clean until proven otherwise, right? That's the way I like to look at it, right? They're clean. Second, let's assume that they're all dirty. Well, that means if they're all dirty, your athlete, your favorite athlete that you're whining and need a bottle for is still getting smoked. Because if all of them are dirty and your athlete's using it, that athlete that you don't like is using it, and you just throwing it out there saying, hey, they got this, they got that. Well, guess what? Your athlete got smoked. And you notice some athletes when they have literally been proven to use performance enhancers, then they get I guess banned for like 6 months. It depends. The UK will ban you for freaking life. Stupid. But some of these athletes come back faster. Isn't that funny? They come back faster, clean. And it's so crazy because some of the things that you do in your life and you eat, it's like eating a burger or eating some vegetables. A burger ain't gonna make you faster, but some vegetables are. It does with your body. Milk is gonna sit on you very well. A lot of athletes don't even know that that's actually inhibiting their performance. All the dairy that they're eating on these days of competition, and other teams do know that, and they have it at least on the day and the day before competition. Just like even you need to hydrate about 48 hours before the competition too, to be maximum hydrate. So are these shoes helping? Yeah, but it's not helping in the way that you think. Should we go back to asphalt tracks because they're not there? Okay, cool. Now let me go to a different picture. I probably lost a whole bunch of people in just talking about these things. And if so, oh well. Now here's the young Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Remember when she had her braces in back in Beijing? Yeah, that was a little while ago. So people are talking about Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Man, she is sending a message out there to people. She is not one to be messed with. You know why? Because she came up and she blazed in this 200. Gabby Thomas is right there, still the world leader, still the third fastest time, second fastest woman, third fastest time, because Flojo did run a 20.56, I think, in between that or something like that. So yeah, she's or something. It was a time in between that. Second fastest woman, just like Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is the second fastest woman, but her time on the 100 was, I think, third or fourth fastest of all time. So there's still some in between there. But with that being said, look at this. This is going to be a throwdown. And when it comes down to the final, what will we see? What do I think of my top 1, 2, 3? People keep asking, what are my 1, 2, 3? And then I'm going to get back into the shoe thing in a second. Actually, I'll say this, the shoe thing right now. Look, if the shoes were such a big deal, then the women would have been getting faster at the same time as the men. It's just the talent wise and the training and the focus and everything have been coming toward the women, just like in the distance running for the women. Did you know that Kenya and Ethiopian women had to fight in order to try against their cultures in order to train? So that means, yeah, you saw them be as dominant, but it was more like how the Kenyan and Ethiopian men were in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, they were there, but you don't see the complete and utter dominance where it's like, oh, shoot, one of them lost. Wow, now we got to look versus, oh, they're there, they're dominant, they got the top times, but when it comes to these championships, they can still be beat. No, they were in that type of cycle where it's like, hey, if you're looking at one of those athletes there, then you are looking at them as in they're still beatable at a championship, even though on a flat or whatever with pacers or however that goes, they're probably not getting beat. So now it's in the aspect where the women, and you see the times are dropping in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. You see the times are dropping in the 10K, in the 5K, the 10K roads, the 5K roads, the half marathon. You're seeing these things drop because now the women, and in the marathon too, because the women are now able to, without as big of a social stigma, able to train. Yeah, they were able to train before, but it was a social stigma, and they finally have pushed through a lot of it right now. So you guys are not realizing the things that are going in the background. The women still have had a lot of things that they're fighting through. So while everybody is talking this and that, they don't realize that some of the talented people, we may not even be able to see them yet. And that's where you see people like a Sifan Hassan dominate from the 1500 and 10K. Because quite frankly, there could be a lot more dominance in there where they don't leave room for that. And she's an amazing athlete with the athletes that are competing now. But with even more dominance, if you guys get what I'm saying, you don't see that on the men's side. So it's just like saying the same thing. Sifan Hassan, mile world record. She had the 10K world record for 2 days. And then Letessen Bagide. Are you going to now say, oh, the shoes helped her? What happened to the men? Are we going to see a mile world record? It's not happening. It didn't happen yet as of the recording of this video on June 27th, 2021. So let's get back to this. Gabby Thomas. She's the world leader right now. Second fastest woman ever. Third fastest 200 of all time. We got Shanae Miller-Uibo. We got Shericka Jackson. Sorry, Shericka. I got a video coming up for you in a second. This ain't the best picture right here of you, but this is the one I got right now. But we got Shanae Miller-Uibo and Shericka Jackson that are there. Shericka Jackson, I think this is why I got a video dedicated towards Shericka Jackson, because she is the dark horse right now. Miller-Uibo, they're getting the headlines and stuff. You notice, if I wanted to go for clicks, I would quite literally just release the Allison Felix video I got right now. There have been people keep asking me about it. I'm not going for clicks. I'm going and trying to cover things like that. I'm going to cover the 100 hurdles, the 110 hurdles, the 400 hurdles in the second two on the men's side, just like I did for the women's side. But I'm trying to go for some of the other events right now. So yeah, we got Shanae Miller-Uibo. She got some strength. People are starting to counter out just because they saw Gabby Thomas and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce do these times. You got to put some respect on the name. Yes, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce can win in the 200. Yes, she can. But Shanae Miller-Uibo is not just doing the 2-4 double. She's focusing on the 2. So she's going to have fresher legs when it comes into it. Now, we saw what happened when Jackson was running with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce here, and she looked comfortable, quote unquote, but she couldn't catch her. I don't care how comfortable a person looks. A person can look, quote unquote, comfortable all they want, and they can be feeling a different way. Just like people looked at the Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Let me put the picture of her right here. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce in the 100 when she ran that 1063. And then they thought that, oh, she's just easing up toward the finish line. Actually, if you listen to the interview afterward, those last 20 meters, she said she still has to work on it. So she ran that 1063, dying toward the last 15, 17, or 20 meters. And that's what she said. She said she still had to work on it. Her form was starting to break and everything. She said it in the interview right after that race. Go and look that one up. So to other people, they were just reading more into it than it was necessary. That's just what happens sometimes. Sometimes we read more into things that are necessary, just like the shots fired video that was there. Was she actually literally talking about the other people? She just answered the reporter's question. And obviously she was just a little bit irritated because the reporter was trying to imply something about, hey, these fast finishers could catch you or something like that. And she was just like, hey, I'm a fast finisher too. I don't care. Like, and because she won, she's a fast finisher. Oh, so they're trying to say, oh, she's just a fast starter, but she can be hawked down. No. And she was dealing with slight injury problem and they couldn't catch her. Oh no, she's ready. So Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, greatest of all time. I got to still put the respect on the name, just like I got to get the respect on Shanae Miller-Uibo's name. Gabby Thomas, she's in that new high where she just got 3 PRs in 3 races. Here's another thing I want to say. So people were saying about the Oregon track, right? They're saying that the Oregon track is fast. The Oregon track is fast. The one in Florida, the Miramar track, it's so fast they can't reproduce those times. English Gardner ran such and such time. Then she didn't reproduce it in an international competition. There are so many people. What's her name in the 100 hurdles world record holder? Why am I forgetting? Kenny Harrison. So Kenny Harrison, she broke the world record, but she got to the world championships and got silver. Okay, and Asafa Powell broke the world record and couldn't get a single medal in the 100. So what is that to say about that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll wait. There are so many people. They just can't reproduce their times on these other tracks, international competition. Funny. Isn't the Tokyo Olympics the perfect time for them to reproduce their times because it's a track that's built for the Olympics? would you assume that they would build an inferior track to a random track that's in Florida? Just wait for a second. Before you guys even comment, do some of y'all think before y'all comment down in the comment section? Because some of these things, y'all just like repeating these points that somebody else told you or that you heard from there or whatever you concocted in your head, and then you write it down. Okay, fair. The University of Oregon track could be a quote unquote fast track because they just built a new one. That means it's going to be fresher than other ones. Sure. Then we got people come, but then the World Championships are next year. So if anything, everybody's going to be running fast times, including Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, because she said her last competition is going to be the World Championships. So if the World Championships are in Oregon, wouldn't you expect fast times there? That doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes there are good days, the wind, the competition that's there, the heat, as in the temperature. There are so many factors, the adrenaline that they have. They could be on a high where it's just a good day for a person. You guys are acting like you've never been athletes before and you just never had a good day. I've run on the same track as far as where I was in high school and in college. And then some days were good days, some days were bad days. And sometimes I got a PR and sometimes I didn't. In the most perfect world, you're trying to get a PR and running your best time every single time you go out there, as far as when it comes to a final and making it through the rounds. But sometimes you just don't have it. Do you guys leave any room for that? Or is it always, Oregon, every time it's to discount the people you guys don't like? You use logic one way. That's not logic. That's just freaking selective reasoning. Because there are plenty of athletes I can go down the list that don't reproduce their best times. Usain Bolt didn't reproduce his best time all the time. I mean, okay, are we about to now complain about that? Oh, no, he was getting older. He was getting older. But then when your other athlete, let's say Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce now, let's just say you were trying to defend Usain Bolt. You were talking against an American, Gabby Thomas, getting faster. She just had a good day. If anything, we could at least give her credit for having a good day. Can we all agree upon that? You say Usain Bolt got older, therefore his time didn't get there. But Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is older than Usain Bolt was, yet she's getting faster. Oh, they're two different athletes. You can't compare them. But you're comparing people. You're comparing tracks. It's always selective reasoning. So at the end of the day, what we're going to see here, let me get back to this. This has been somewhat of a, I guess, a rant talk down on these people. Gabby Thomas, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Shericka Jackson, they got the top 3 best times this year. Jenna Prandini, she ran very well now. And then Anivia Battle, one of our collegiate athletes, she made it through. Then we have no, we didn't. Elaine Thompson-Herah, she winded up running that 22:02, and then she beat out the collegiate athletes. But yeah, so with that being said, what do I think is going to be the 1, 2, and 3? 1, 2, 3, right? So I believe Dina Asher-Smith is going to make the final. Right? Dina Asher-Smith, she's making that final. I just put her in there. She's defending world champion. We got Elaine Thompson-Herah. I think that is her stronger event, but that's just because overall she's been more dominant in that. Dina Asher-Smith also has run more 200s than the rest of the competition. So she just runs 200s. That's like her theme. It's just kind of like how Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce has run more 100s, and then she switched to camps. Now she's running better in the 100 and the 200. Maybe that says something. But yeah, with that being said, Elaine Thompson-Herah, defending Olympic champion, put some respect on that title, and the 200. We're not talking about the 100 here. Obviously, we know that too. Battle, I don't think she's going to do anything. But sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes a third place finisher, just like Elaine Thompson, sometimes a third place finisher in the national championship winds up being the world or Olympic champion, right? They just have a good race. The other ones, they don't perform for whatever reason. So what I think is a 1, 2, 3, I think Shericka Jackson may surprise all of us. Shanae Miller-Uibo is going to be there. I think it's going to be a fight between Miller-Uibo. I mean, she just got it. I don't know why people are counting her out. They were just like, oh no. I mean, she did this 22:03 earlier in the season, and then she pretty much shut it down. Let's look at her results here. So seeing the last time she actually competed in the 200. Well, here we go. And I think she did that. Was this that straight line 200 or whatever? Like, okay, she did this very early in the season. I'm sure she got something else up her sleeve. If she did this 22:03 early in the season, don't y'all think she at least had something? I don't know why. I mean, it was several comments on there. It's just like, well, Shanae Miller-Uibo ain't got nothing. I should have a video for her in a second. But yeah, so Shanae Miller-Uibo, I think she's got a lot more left. She's got a surprise coming for us, and she might shock all of us about how fast she runs. But I also look at Shericka Jackson. She's going to be coming. She's the dark horse right here in the 100 and the 200. I mean, she performed the Jamaican championships 1, 2, and 4. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, she's got it this year. I mean, she's another athlete that's doing very well. Are we going to discount her just like people are trying to discount Gabby Thomas? Come on now. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, of course, is going to be there. Now, the question is, will she decide to drop the 200? And I think it's going to depend on how her slight injury deals and develops as time goes on, as we get closer to the championship. She said she had niggles, aka slight injury. And remember how I mentioned that most of these races are between 0.8 and 1.3? Is this not the most ironic thing? The Jamaican championships had 0.8 tailwind, and it was a 1.3 tailwind in freaking Oregon. Isn't that funny when you look at the top 50 and top 100 times, how they just come and they just fall within that range? Isn't that funny? It would seem that stats just happen to work. It's just like when I'm in the investing world, when I talk about cryptocurrency, stocks, or something like that, people say it's all random. And I'm like, no, it's all numbers. It's all numbers. It breaks down there. And so the wind is going to be there. So when we equalize to zero, it kind of just don't make sense because most of the races are not zeroed in. Unless when we talk about stats, if you're going to talk about Gabby Thomas, equalize her to zero like you would to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Because I already know it's common. The comments are coming. So the 1, 2, 3. This is going to be hard to, in all honesty, it's hard to call. I'm going to put, I know this is going to anger some people, but I gotta do it. I'm going to put it with the 400 athletes, Shericka Jackson and Shanae Miller-Uibo. For some reason, I got to put it between those. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the only question mark I got there, I will put her in the hat too with Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas, this has kind of been the one-off thing, but she's peaking pretty well. Now, will she be able to peak again for the Tokyo Olympics is the question. And if she doesn't perform for that, I'm gonna need y'all all to just knock down her. She did an amazing performance at the USA trials, and it has nothing to do with Eugene, Oregon's track is fast, because I'm sure Jenna Prandini might run a PR again too. Gabby Thomas might have just had a good day. Just how about that? Just think of that for a second. Relax, calm down, get out your emotions, and do that. But I think the actual championship, Dina Asher-Smith, man, she's going to have to pray and hope. She's going to have to pray and hope that she can run herself faster. Because I looked at her running at the British Championships, and she didn't look as good. This was not, it just wasn't a good time for her. That's all it was. It wasn't a good day for her. So I'll put it like that. Based on her latest performance, I don't got her winning the gold, but I got it between, I really want to lean toward Miller-Uibo, but she has not run any time recently. And that's the only thing. So if I were to say Miller-Uibo running this early in the season, I would give her a strong favorite as far as that. Now, if I were to equalize them, that's one scenario, right? Miller-Uibo. I'm kind of shaky on that. If I do it in the recent performances, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is just a monster this year. So I'd be willing to bet my money. I would do a 3-way bet. If I had $10,000, I'm putting on it. I'm putting it on Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. just a reliable pick, even though the 200 is the weakest event as her old coach. And she has a new training camp and everything that she's had for the last few years. So it's been working out very well for her. So Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Shericka Jackson, and Shanae Miller-Uibo. I will put it a three-way between that. Elaine Thompson-Herah, she ain't looking the best this year, but I will give some respect to her name as she got something to prove here. She's got something to prove here. So she might surprise us all, but I don't see it. So Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Shericka Jackson, Shanae Miller-Uibo, I would say they're the ones gunning for the gold. And I guess between them, that's the 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what order they would go to. Now, Gabby Thomas and Shericka Jackson, here's the other scenario. They are kind of like the dark horses here. Really, Shericka Jackson is the dark horse. I mean, she's performing above and beyond what many people were expecting her to. You go back to my other videos, was not counting her out. I'm gonna keep on saying that. I feel a little bit of pride with that one because I caught her and I'm like, wait a minute. She knows how to make these 4x100 teams. She knows how to do this. And she's just performed above what I thought she would do. So she's out here getting new PRs too. So Gabby Thomas, Shericka Jackson, they might be the dark horses here. And Gabby Thomas has already shown her card. And Shericka Jackson might not have shown her card yet. So coming into this, world leader, Gabby Thomas. Shericka Jackson, Gabby Thomas, they might actually come away and steal it. This is going to be a hard one to call. This is a very hard one to call. I think Dina Asher-Smith needs a hope and prayer for her to steal away with a medal based on her last performance. Based on her normal one and her progression, I mean, she can get up in the medals. I don't think she could still these other women, these other ladies, they're just too much faster than her. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can even put Jenna Prandini ahead of Dina Asher-Smith at this point with how her form is coming through. That's the way I look at it. But as you guys said, it's the Oregon track. Why? It's the Oregon track. The Oregon track is going to make her faster. Look at the track down here. It's going to make her faster. The Ducks, Nike put something up in the freaking thing into the track. It's making them enhanced. You know, they can't use performance enhancers, so they're going to use a track enhancer here. Let's put on our tinfoil cap now and say the Oregon track is the only track that's built on the planet that is that fast. Not the Berlin track. That wasn't a fast track. Oops. Not Sydney Olympics. Oops. Not Atlanta. Oops. Not the Tokyo Olympics. Oops. I guess they're not going to build a fast track. They're just going to build an average track. So, you know, that people can have an Olympics on, but they're not really going to try to do anything special here. Oops. Yep. Nope. No more fast performances. The Americans will all stutter. Yep. Let me just talk like you guys in the comment section. Americans will flounder. They can't reproduce their times. Matter of fact, Sha'Carri went down to Florida, the Miramar place, and she can't reproduce this time, even though she ran that, 1084 into a headwind with a bad start. And if you equalize that, it would be like, oh, wait a minute, that's 10-7 something. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't do it the other way. You only do it when you hate on somebody. Hey, look, I'm just giving you like it is. I'm giving you guys like it is. So that's all I got for today. Let me see for the 100. Jamaica's got the world record. That's just, man, I can go to sleep and wake up tomorrow. Jamaica's got the world record. I mean, it ain't even freaking close. I think it's going to be a blowout. It's not even going to be close. Some people are saying it's going to be close between the women, 4x1 women. Not even close. You got to be freaking, I don't know, got some heavy favoritism or something if you think that the U.S. or anybody else has a chance of getting close to the women on the Jamaican side. It's just like saying, let's go to the men for a second in the 100. It's like saying somebody's got a hope and a prayer of breaking into this list of the men's 100. It's just not happening. Even though we could only send 3 people, the United States got it locked down in a wrap. It's literally it's the US's chance to lose the medal. It's going to be one of them messing up versus one of the other ones coming out and showing out. Now, obviously that can happen, but it's more like one of the other nations just gotta, do something. Oh, and another thing, if the I don't know if the Eugene, Oregon track is so freaking fast, how come Trayvon Bromell didn't run his PR at the championships in the 100? Oh, I'm sorry, because that happened after 15. Here it is, 15 days after. You know, I'm sorry, what happened? Happened 15 days after at a national championship. That's the time he would want to run his PR, right? You want to, show out and showboat and do all that good stuff. Stunt and flaunt on the rest of the crowd. Shouldn't he have run his best time this year on Oregon's track? But we got Ronnie Baker and Fred Curley. They ran their best times. What do you guys say with that one? Oops, I'm sorry. Am I proving some people wrong again? Or is Miramar's track just better? I'm sorry. Is Miramar, the random track in Florida, is that better than the one that's built for the World Championships next year? Ooh, 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 man, I'm stepping on some people right now. I don't know. Or maybe they're equal tracks and he just didn't have a good day. Maybe the Miramar track with the surface and everything, that surface is equal to Hayward Field. Now, I'm not saying that some tracks aren't better than others. We all know if we're athletes, we run on different tracks and everything. And we know some tracks are just trash and some are better. Yes, that's what we know this. But I'm saying, is a brand new track, Eugene, Oregon, not better than this one? Are we saying that performances literally only are that good because somebody runs on that track? Come on now. Come on. That's just ridiculous at this point. Just people don't perform as well at certain times either. Just give people their props for the props that they are. It's kind of good. Yes, different tracks produce different times and stuff. Yeah, that's nice. But anyway, I'm gonna stop this. It's probably going on too long. Catch you all on the next one. We got our women's 200, women's 100. That is going to be a thing to watch. And it's going to be a victory lap for Jamaica in the women's 4x1. Just like it's going to be a victory lap for a few victory laps for the men and women in the 4x4 for the United States and for the men in the 4x1. I mean, it ain't even going to be close. If the men can get the baton around, oh my goodness. As many times as the men for the U.S. have messed that up. That's another video. Let me stop this as it is. Have a good one.